this week. We'll take a look at that all-important weather forecast here in just a couple of minutes. So the weekend was actually quite pleasant. We hit 83 on Saturday and just 80 on Sunday with a little bit of that wind because of that jet stream that got out of alignment that kind of brought in the cooler air and the breezy conditions. But that jet stream it's out of here. It went back up north where it's supposed to be this time of the year, and that's going to allow a high-pressure dome to build up, and that means very warm temperatures by the middle of the week. It's still August, and it's still summer, and it will be for another 4 weeks or so. We got a lot of good stuff for you. Busy show. Of course, we got the news. We got the weather forecast. I just gave you a tease on that. We'll have sports, including we'll talk a little bit more about the Seahawks. A nice victory on Saturday night in a game that didn't count against the Chargers. We got quite a bit of sports to get to. Also let you know how the Wenatchee Wild did over the weekend during the exhibition season as they're getting ready to play more hockey. Coming up this year, we'll have the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays, and everybody is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. On the second half of the program, on Friday morning, we went to visit Dr. Paul Gordon at his office. Dr. Paul Gordon is the new superintendent of the Wenatchee School District. He's been at the job for a couple of months. Tomorrow is the first day of school for the Wenatchee School District. And so we'll be talking to Paul Gordon. It's a fascinating conversation. He's energetic. He's got a lot of ideas. We'll be talking to Paul coming up in the second half of this award-winning program. I know it's an award-winning program because I got into my Word document over the weekend and I printed up a certificate. All I got to do is buy a frame. 3 minutes after the hour, let's take you around North Central Washington on a gorgeous Monday morning with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless. The cross camera always gets the honors of starting the parade, if you will. I don't know if that's an analogy that works correctly. Anyway, there's the cross camera. Looking good, beautiful morning. Boy, it was a perfect weekend up there at the NCW Fair up in Waterville, although it was a little breezy at times, especially on Saturday night. All in all, everybody had a good time. I know I did. I had a chance to go by there on Thursday and enjoy the food and the festivities and the music and the animals and all that good stuff. It was a lot of fun. Camera number 2, where are we off to? We're going to go see Apple-Annie's, the Apple-Annie's camera, high above the Apple-Annie's area there. I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. We have to name these cameras something. We call that one the Apple-Annie's cameras. We overlook beautiful Cashmere, Washington. Things are looking good. That's a big shadow from that ridge that's covering over Cashmere, but trust me, the sun will move around. Sunrise, by the way, this morning was at 6:12. Sunset tonight is at 7:53. That gives us 13 hours, I should say, 13 hours and 41 minutes of daylight. On this Monday, we lose about 90 seconds of daylight a day at this time of the year. Camera 3, we say good morning to the Arundel Rock camera, looking over Lake Antioch. That's pointing north up the Lake Chelan area. This is also, of course, the end of the vacation season. A lot of people take their last vacations before Labor Day rolls around and August becomes September and everybody gets busy again, back to school and everything else that happens. September is a very busy month for a lot of people. It's also usually, from a weather standpoint, a pretty good month too. Camera 4, where are we off to? We're going to go see Billy Goat, Bill E. Goat, USA. Super high camera, way up there above the Alta Lake Golf Course, which I have not played this year. I did have a chance to play Clockham Ridge over the weekend on Sunday. It was a little breezy, but all in all, we had a good time. Anytime you can go out and goof off and play 4 hours of golf and let life just go away from you for a little while, it's a good weekend. So we say good morning to our friends at Pateros, good morning to our friends in Brewster. Hello, Bridgeport. Even though we can't see you, you can see us and our friends in the upper part of the Wenatchee Valley. That's our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless. That means you can have high-speed internet to your house without having fiber. Give Localtel a call. They'll see if you're eligible for it. It's a pretty handy deal. 5 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service, your forecast looks something like that. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, that jet stream that was positioned over our area, yeah, it's gone. It got pushed away to the north because there's a big ridge of high pressures begin to build up, and it's going to give us a very warm trend, almost no clouds at all, nothing but sunshine. So summertime weather is right back with us. Today, just about normal, right around 86 or 87. That's about normal for this time of the year. Then the warm-up really begins. On Tuesday, we'll see the lower 90s. We'll climb well into the 90s by Wednesday with lots of sunshine and hot temperatures, slightly cooler by the time we get to Thursday and Friday. The Labor Day weekend, by the way, warmer than average if this forecast holds. Right now, they think that the computer models, is giving us the long-term forecast into Labor Day weekend, which, of course, is this upcoming weekend. If this holds true, it's going to be sunny and hot for Labor Day weekend. So take a look at that. 98 be the warmest day of this week, and that's pretty darn warm considering we only had 80 yesterday and 83 on Saturday. But a lot of that had to do with the cold air that was ushered in and the wind as well. So it's going to be a hot one. Not so hot today, but into the 90s on Tuesday. And we'll be up 97, 98 by Wednesday before we cool down just a little bit, but really not much. All in all, August weather because it's August. At your forecast from the National Weather Service, 6.5 minutes after they are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have your Monday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurance Services of North Central Washington, where we like to teach our customers how to shop and compare from all the Medicare options. Now, a lot of folks will come in and tell me, Jim, I'm so confused about all these choices. In fact, there's 21 reasons you can join a Medicare plan. But we want to focus on the specific plan that's right for you. So if that's what you need, give us a call at Senior Insurance, 888-2600, or visit one of our 5 locations.
My first experience with CVCH, I had to come in with my daughter by myself with a cut in my hand that required stitches. And the care and compassion at CVCH was really significant, that they took the care and compassion and made me feel more as a human instead of just a patient there. The care they have for their community all around, inside and outside the clinic, is what I feel like is different. And that's what makes me want to come back to CVCH and recommend them to my friends and family.
We're back. It is 8 minutes after the hour. We have lots of sunshine and 55 degrees. Outside of our studios, mid to upper 80s today, lower 90s on Tuesday, mid to upper 90s on Wednesday. Lots of sunshine all week long and a pretty warm Labor Day weekend coming your way. Here's what's making headlines on this Monday. State troopers say the driver of this SUV was impaired when the vehicle plunged into Lake Chelan. This happened on Friday evening. Trooper John Bryant said it happened on Highway 150 at milepost 4. The driver lost control of the vehicle, causing it to crash into the water about 60 feet from the shore. Now, the vehicle's oil pan was sheared off when it was pulled from the lake, and about 7 quarts of motor oil and 5 gallons of gas was spilled into Lake Chelan. Washington DOE crews responded with a floating boom to contain the oily residue. The Chelan County Sheriff's Marine Patrol Unit also responded. No word on injuries in that accident. Blue Pass was closed in both directions on Friday morning for more than a couple of hours. A motorhome caught fire. According to Trooper John Bryant of the Washington State Patrol, fire crews were able to get the fire out before it spread to nearby trees. The motorhome burst into flames about 6 miles north of the summit on Highway 97. There were no reports of injuries. The highway was reopened about 1 o'clock Friday afternoon with flaggers controlling traffic. That's a rather dramatic photo there. Well, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office is issuing a warning about a new telephone scam that's making the rounds in the Wenatchee area. Officials say people are receiving automated calls from different numbers saying that they're being investigated and their social security number is going to be suspended. A recorded voice tells the person that their social security number has been compromised and they need to press 1 to speak to a real person. Well, in one case, the scammer said the FBI was listening to the call because of a stolen vehicle was found in Texas with several pounds of drugs, and that the vehicle's name and information was found, and the victim's name, I should say, and information was found in the vehicle, and that in order to clear their name and avoid being charged, they needed to send money. Otherwise, arrest warrants would be issued. The victim hung up, and then a call came through showing FBI on the victim's caller ID. So remember, never give out your financial information or your social security number to anybody over the phone. It's just common sense. Finally, on this Monday morning, it's been a relatively smoke-free summer here because we haven't had a lot of wildfires in north central Washington, but you can expect to see more smoke this fall. Of course, the U.S. Forest Service enters their prescribed burning season. Officials say over 11,000 acres are planned this year, but fewer acres may be completed if conditions aren't favorable. The scheduled prescribed burning will be conducted in the Chelan, Okanagan, Kittitas, and Yakima counties. Residents and visitors can expect to see smoke and smell some smoke each day during burning operations. Forest Fire Management Officer Rob Allen says, quote, "Every acre we burn now is one less acre burning under high-intensity, unsafe, dense smoke conditions in future summers. By the way, maps of the prescribed burns are available at the Okanagan and Wenatchee National Forest Service website. And a quick little heads up, if you'd like to use the Wenatchee transfer station on the south end of town, it's going to be closed for still more. Of course, they had that fire back on August 6th, and a company spokesman told us on Friday that it's going to be quite a while. They say it's going to be 6 or 7 more weeks before the transfer station on the south end is up and running. Apparently, one of the items that was damaged in the fire, they just don't make. They have to have it custom made. It has to be custom made, so they don't have the part, and it's going to be quite some time before that's done. So if you'd like to use the Wenatchee transfer station, you have to wait for another 6 or 7 weeks. Of course, you can always take your garbage out to the landfill itself in East Wenatchee. For residents, you can also use the Dryden landfill station, and if you have yard debris, you can use the Stemilt yard debris station on South Wenatchee Avenue. All right, that's news at 11 minutes after the hour. Don't forget the news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Grant in the anchor chair. Eric is back from beautiful Southern California. He'll be doing sports. The news with Eric and Grant at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5, 6, and 10. Also available to you to watch on demand at ncwlife.com, our website. It is 12 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike McDonough's opinion on my conversation with Paul Gordon, the superintendent of the Wenatchee School District. That's the conversation you don't want to miss. It's all coming up between now and the top of the hour. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 6 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Oh, hi. It's Monday. What do you do? It's 14 minutes after the hour. Let's do sports. Seahawks picked up a nice preseason win on Saturday night in Southern California. They knocked off the LA Chargers. Our very own Eric Granstrom was there, and he filed this report.
Well, the Seahawks improved their preseason record to 2-1 with a victory on Saturday night in Carson, California against the Los Angeles Chargers. 23-15 is the final as Geno Smith vying for that backup role at quarterback. Looks pretty good for the Seahawks as Russell Wilson played most of the first half. Geno came in to finish up the second quarter, played all of the second half. He would complete 11 of 18 passes for 117 yards, also rushed 6 times for 24 yards, including an impressive scramble for a touchdown from 8 yards out. Big receivers for the night for the Seahawks were John Ursua, who had a couple of catches for 52 yards. Also Tyler Lockett with 2 receptions for 50 yards for the Seahawks on Saturday night. Also on Saturday night, looking pretty good at the running back position, C.J. Procyse. Hey, it's just happy to see him healthy and be on the field for a change. Procyse carried the ball 5 times for 32 yards, including a touchdown, as well as the Seahawks get the victory by a final of 23-15. Here in Carson, California, I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCW Life channel.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate it. Russell Wilson, 6 of 9 passing, 73 yards, rushed 3 times for 31 yards. Wilson was happy with how the game went for his first-team offense.
I thought it was great. I thought we executed everything that we wanted to execute. I thought we made our plays. We ran the ball really well. We got some balls down the field. Guys looked good. Tyler looked really sharp tonight. JB looked great tonight too as well. Running backs did well. Got the ball in the end zone. I think the offensive line did tremendous tonight. So it was exactly what we wanted to do, to be able to run the ball physical and make our plays and throw the ball down the field too and make some plays too. And so I thought it was a great night.
Seahawks, the starting offense built a 13-3 lead in the game, and they rushed overall for the game for over 200 yards, and that's the kind of statistics that head coach Pete Carroll likes to see.
This game worked out really well for us. We had some objectives that we wanted to attend to, and we really wanted to run the football tonight, and I was happy that we were able to get that done. First group ran the ball for, I don't know, 120 something in the first half, which is just what we had hoped. We wanted to be real efficient and clean up our game, and I thought for the most part it was that. We weren't able to stop them like we'd like with our guys at the end of the game, but that's been kind of, we've been consistently not good enough to stop them in the fourth quarter. We got to get better with those guys next week because they're going to play the whole game. So.
Seahawks wrap up the preseason this Thursday night. They'll be back home at CenturyLink Field. They'll take on the Oakland, soon-to-be Las Vegas Raiders. Again, that's on Thursday night. About a half an hour prior to Saturday night's kickoff against the Chargers, word came out about Colts quarterback Andrew Luck retiring. This was a shocker. Coach Carroll was asked to comment following Seattle's preseason victory.
I think that's really surprising to hear that. It's a rare instance that a guy in his prime, steps away from the game. But obviously he has his reasons, and I don't have much more to say about it, but it was surprising for everybody, and you wonder about the circumstances. But it is about injuries. He's had some very long-term, serious things that have really bothered him, and I would think he probably can't get over this one fast enough, and it's just worn him out,
Like everybody else, Russell Wilson was surprised by the announcement. He provided words of encouragement for a fellow quarterback drafted back in 2012.
I think as fans and even as players, sometimes we forget that there's life after this game, and I think that a guy like Andrew, he one of the most dedicated guys. He's always been tremendous on the field. Obviously, he's battled some things in his life with injuries and everything else, and I don't know what it was. Yeah, I haven't heard anything or whatever, but I'm praying for him, praying that he stays encouraged. And this game is can take a toll on us, physically, but also emotionally, spiritually, everything else. And I think that he's demonstrated it with class, the whole time. He's gone through everything, and being highly touted, obviously, being the number one pick and everything else. There's a lot of pressure on him, and I think that he handled it with grace. I think he handled it really well, and had a tremendous career for how long he played.
That was Saturday night. The official announcement came Sunday in Indianapolis.
But I am going to retire. This is not an easy decision. Honestly, it's the hardest decision of my life. But it is the right decision for me. For the last 4 years or so, I've been in this cycle of injury, pain, rehab, injury, pain, rehab. And it's been unceasing and unrelenting, both in season, and off season. And I felt stuck in it, and the only way I see out is to no longer play football. It's taken my joy of this game away, and this. Sorry.
Andrew Luck was the number one draft pick in the 2012 draft. He took over a Colts team that had finished 2-14 the year before, and in his rookie season, he led the Colts to an 11-5 record. He finished his career with 23,671 passing yards, 2,000 completions, and 171 touchdowns. Happy retirement. The Wenatchee Wild went 1-2 of the weekend in BCHL exhibition play. Yeah, the games didn't count. Wenatchee got goals from Brian Adams, Trevor Gabriel, and Hunter Hastings Friday in a 3-1 win against Chilliwack. Langley goaler Braden Fleming turned away all of the Wild shots Saturday night. The Rivermen posting a 5-0 victory there. And then in a high-scoring affair yesterday, Coquitlam shot past the Wild 8-5, scoring goals for Wenatchee: Tyler Young, Matt Dorsey, Dallas Farrell, Jack Bayless, and Nicholas Chilvisky. The Wild will wrap up the regular season, preseason, I should say, Friday when they take on Surrey, and then the regular season begins 1 week from Friday in Merritt against the Centennials. Former Wenatchee Apple Sox pitcher Marco Gonzalez was stellar on the mound yesterday for the Mariners. The M's beat the Blue Jays. The final was 3-1. Gonzalez went 7 strong innings. He allowed 1 run, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. He got his 14th win of the season. Dylan Moore hit a solo home run, and Kyle Seager drove in a run with a double. After taking 2 of 3 from Toronto, Seattle welcomes the Yankees into town for the first of 3 games. First pitch, 7-10. To the Les Schwab American League West scoreboard from yesterday. Houston scored 7 runs in the 8th inning, a run away from the Angels, 11-2. Josh Reddick led the way for the Astros. He went 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Ronaldo Lopez and 4 relievers, 1 hit Texas. The White Sox win 2-0. And Donovan Solano was 4 for 4 with a run and an RBI to lead San Francisco past Oakland in the Battle of the Bay. The final was 5-4. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday. It is the 26th day of August, and you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The obscure holiday of the day today is National Women's Equality Day. Yeah. The United States Congress, of course, the states passed, the United States Congress certified the 19th Amendment to the Constitution on this day back in 1920. So every year on August 26th, it's National Women's Equality Day. But this took forever. The first idea of women's suffrage and giving women the right to vote was in 1840. And it was just, we look back now with total incredulity that women didn't get the right to vote in this country in federal elections until 1920. That's insane. That's insane. Why did it take so long? Well, it took so long because, white men want to run the world and we don't want women to be involved in this. It's just stupid. You couldn't vote because of your chromosome. Well, we took care of that little problem 99 years ago today. Happy Women's Equality Day. In fact, as you might imagine, for our Today in History segment, that is the first thing we're going to talk about. The 99th anniversary of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, giving women the right to vote. Just in time for the 1920 presidential election. About 26 million American women were eligible to vote, enfranchised to vote. Of course, a lot of politicians thought they're going to have their own voting block and really decide which way the presidential election is going to go. It never really materialized. It still hasn't materialized all these years later. Hillary Clinton got a lot more votes from women than Donald Trump did in the 2016 election, but outside of that, it really hasn't happened. And ironically enough, the Republican Party, for the first election after the 19th Amendment, the 1920 presidential election, one of the reasons that the Republican Party nominated Warren G. Harding is because he was handsome. They thought the women are going to vote for Harding because he's a good-looking guy. Again, total incredulity. Insane. Happened on this date 99 years ago today. Happy birthday to the 19th Amendment. August 26, 1980. His name was John Burgess. He was a German national. In fact, he flew fighter planes for the Luftwaffe in World War II. Was shot down, was imprisoned in the Gulag for 8 years, was eventually released. John Burgess worked his way to the United States, started a landscaping company, and made millions and millions of dollars. And then he developed a really bad gambling habit. And he blamed Harvey's Resort Hotel in State Line, Nevada for taking most of his fortune. So in an act of revenge, John Burgess planted a bomb at that resort. It was a very well-built bomb. It was virtually tamper-proof. The ransom note said, you cannot disarm this bomb. Even I, the guy who built it, can't disarm the bomb. But if you send me $3 million, I'll give you the instructions on what combination of switches you can throw so the bomb wouldn't go off. You could take it out and then detonate it remotely. Well, the FBI looked at this thing and they couldn't figure out how they could possibly disarm it. So they thought, maybe if we blow up a little bit of it, it'll disarm itself. So they moved everybody out. They shut off the gas lines. Everybody went blocks and blocks away. Nobody was injured. The FBI fiddled with the bomb and boom, it blew up. Harvey's Resort Hotel in State Line, Nevada. Pretty much destroyed the hotel. Shattered windows everywhere, all because John Burgess wanted his $3 million back that he lost at the gambling casinos. 25 minutes after the hour. Birthdays. If you like crossword puzzles, you know who Will Shortz is. Will Shortz, of course, is the crossword puzzle editor for the New York Times. He's a crossword celebrity. They even made a movie about him about, 10, 15 years ago. It's really good. And not only is Will Shortz the star of the movie, but all of these big-time celebrities who just love to do the New York Times crossword every day. Will Shortz, the editor of the New York Times crossword, I can never get through, especially the Sunday crossword. It just eats my brain alive. And it does that because I'm not particularly bright. Will Shortz is 67 years old today. And happy 49th birthday to Melissa McCarthy. Kind of transitioning a little bit from comedic actressing to doing some serious acting work. She's got 2 Academy Award nominations, so she's not only funny as a comedian and as a screenwriter, but she can act too. And now she's doing some more serious work, as these people are apt to do. Melissa McCarthy, very funny lady, very talented lady, is 49 years old today. And that wraps up this segment of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Monday. 55 degrees. We'll be in the mid-80s today, upper 80s, lower 90s on Tuesday, way up into the 90s on Wednesday. It's going to be a hot, hot week. We're going to take a break. When we come back, everybody is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. It's these kids these days. And then my conversation with Dr. Paul Gordon, who's the brand new superintendent of the Wenatchee School District. The first day of school for the Wenatchee kids is tomorrow. And my interview with Paul Gordon, which we conducted in his office last Friday, will come your way right around the corner. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Monday edition on the NCW Live channel.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
¿Qué pasó, mi gente? Su servidor Sergio Ávila y yo, su servidor Ronnie Castro. Comenzó el verano y estamos listos para disfrutar la carnita asada aquí con la raza del Town Nissan. Vengan a disfrutar con nosotros en nuestros bajos precios, así como en este Honda CR-V por $10,991 y este Buick LaCrosse por $7,991. También les ofrecemos vehículos certificados como este Nissan Altima y este Nissan Rogue con garantía limitada de 7 años o 100,000 millas. Compra con confidencia en el Town Nissan, atrás de casco en East Wenatchee.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood. It's great.
Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, play basketball?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking, you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I just read a friend's Facebook post, and they asked if Cliff Notes were still a thing, because he mentioned them to a younger person who didn't know what he was talking about. Now, this made me think of how much other stuff I have mentioned to millennials that, to their loss, they never heard of, like Sophia Loren, believe it or not, Aesop's Fable, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Michelangelo's Moses, his statue David, and others. Farrah Fawcett, film noir, and of course the 2 best car chase movies ever filmed, Bullet and The French Connection. Millennials, they miss out on all this stuff. That reminds me of when my kids were younger, and when I wanted to share a classic movie with them, they'd moan, "Oh, black and white, we don't want to watch this." Oh gosh, it's painful just thinking about all the stuff that our younger generation has missed. Man, kids these days. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
How do you know when it's time to go to Boswell's Furniture? When you know the look you love, the colors you want, but need a little design help to bring it all together. With Boswell's complimentary design service, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa guide you until your vision becomes reality. More styles, more fabrics, and more choices of quality home furnishings fill Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom, so you can see it and feel it before you buy. Come into Boswell's and explore the endless possibilities of home furnishings. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Hey, this is Justin at Club Crow Bar and Grill reminding you it's your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Jam sessions and live bands playing a wide range of music. If pool tables or pull tabs are more your thing, we have you covered. Enjoy the fun and food at Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Stop on by today.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. The man to my immediate left has some big shoes to fill for the last 19 years. Brian Flonis ran the Wenatchee School District as its superintendent, but change is a good thing. The Wenatchee School, Brian announced his retirement. The Wenatchee School Board did their search, and they came up with the name of Dr. Paul Gordon. He got the gig in February. He started the gig on July 1st, and he is joining me here on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dr. Gordon, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Well, you've been here, a couple months, so are you settled in? Are you still on the learning curve, or does the learning curve never end?
The learning curve will never end. But yeah, we're starting to get settled in. We still have a few random boxes in our house that we're not sure what we're going to do with. Probably head over to Goodwill soon enough. But yeah, we're starting to get a sense of the community, the landscape, where we're at. But it's been a good transition so far.
Your two kids are adults, and they've moved on. They're starting the new phases on your life. My guess is that played a role when you and your wife sat down and said, we can do something new now, time to do a new challenge, don't have to worry about the kids. Is that?
That is exactly right. Yeah, both of our kids. My son lives in Chicago. He graduated a year or so ago from DePaul University, and then my daughter just graduated last spring from the University of Kansas, and she's living out in New York. So they are kind of, as you said, taking on their own pathways. So we felt like this was a good opportunity for us to kind of look over the landscape of the U.S. and say, where do we want to be? What do we want to do? And we landed here in Wenatchee, and we could not be any more pleased with the environment, but mainly with the people of the community. Have been outstanding, incredibly welcoming, and embracing our family.
When you first made the trip out here, when you were one of the finalists and you did the interview process and the vetting process, and then you went back to Illinois, and I'll just ask you to fill in the blank. Honey, if I get the job offer, we should say yes and move to Wenatchee because, fill in the blank.
Because of the school district itself, as you said, the work that Brian has done and his team and staff for the past 19 years, it's really a great legacy that he has left and a great foundation that he has set for our district. And it really felt like the skill set that I bring was a good match for the school district and the work that still needs to occur. In every school district across the country, there's a lot of work to be done. But the foundation here is solid and true, and it's a great place to start. And you can't say that with every school district that has an opening. So we were very selective about where we wanted to be, and then you had to put into the environment as well. And that was a big piece for us. We're outdoors people. We like to be outdoors, and you can't get much better than this area.
So Wenatchee kind of sold itself, right?
It did.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah. You've been dealing with the school board on both a one-on-one basis with individual members and, of course, during school board meetings. A good start to that relationship, because that's critical.
It absolutely is. It's critical to the success of the school district. We started off on July 10th with a board retreat where we really set our operating norms and principles and expectations, and had a great 3-hour meeting where we went line by line around what are those expectations? What are those principles we're going to hold ourselves to? What are those norms that are going to guide our work on a daily basis? And we came to a collective agreements on each of those. And I have been really pleased with our board since I've been here around following each and every one of those norms. And I've heard community members say it really is. You can tell a difference in how we're working. From how we've organized the board meetings themselves to where people sit, and I know it sounds kind of silly, but I think they're important things, and the big piece that I've been preaching is teamwork. Cabinet is part of my team, which is an extension of the board team, and we're all in this together. When we're doing good work, it means we're rowing in the right direction. We're all rowing in that same direction, and that's what that early work was, and it's already paying dividends.
Have you had any chance at all to sit down and spend some time with some of the representatives of the unions that represent the local educators and the paraeducators and support staff? Have you had some conversations with them, and how have those gone?
Yeah, I've spent more time with Chris Cameron, the teachers union leader, the president. A little bit less time with the other union leaders, but those are all scheduled in the coming weeks and months as they get back into the school year as well. But Chris and I have had a really great relationship, recognizing it's a limited relationship, but the conversations have been honest, have been direct about what are we trying to do and where are we trying to go with our district in the area of finances, education, the culture that we want to continue to build upon. Great conversations.
Well, you mentioned finances. Let's talk finances. You're on the record for I believe it's a 30, fill in the blank, Dr. Paul. It's a 30 cent per 1,000 assessed value
Correct.
increase, which you can go up to $1.50.
Yep.
You think 30 cents is the way to go. You think it's fiscally conservative. Sell that to the general public, to John Q. taxpayer out there.
Absolutely. As we look at the financial landscape and understanding where our district is at, we believe that the 30 cents, which equates to about $1.58 million that we'll be requesting of additional levy resources, which will be somewhere probably by the end of the day, somewhere that will increase about 23 cents up to probably around 28 cents by the time the valuations all come in. But the rationale is the board and the past administration did some great work last spring, hard work last spring, to make some tough decisions around roughly $4.5 million in cuts. And those cuts needed to be made as we look at the 4-year projected budgets. Each and every one of those were needed, and additional cuts will need to be made. We think, as we think short-term and long-term, the 30 cents is the right place for us to be. As we also have to consider the impact of a possible future bond for our high schools and for our other facilities. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in our facilities. And then past that, in about a year and a half, we have to go back out and repurpose the levy again. And that will require community vote to reauthorize that levy. So we're trying to be very mindful of our taxpayers while also making sure that we're delivering on our core work, educating students. And we feel like this is a really good balance. I recognize I'm a taxpayer in the community, and nobody likes their taxes increased, but I think our why is an important why. And it is about kids. It is about ensuring that we have the right programs, the right staff, in our schools to do the good work for our students. We have significant challenges in our community, in our district, and we can't do this alone. And this is an aspect that we're going to have to reach out to our community and say, understand where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do, and that we're going to take good care of your resources. We build that trust. We're out in our community, and we'll continue to be out in our community telling our story, listening, and ensuring we're hearing what community members are saying, not only just about the finances, but our education, our facilities, all of the work that we're doing. So I'm excited about that work, but I absolutely support, and it's our recommendation to the board to go for this levy of roughly $1.58 million that is needed resources. And again, our budget that we're proposing is a very tight budget. There's not a lot of slack in that budget, which means we've really done some really good work to make sure that every nose is counted, that every dollar is expensed in the manner in which it was purposed for.
So they had to cut over $4 million. This theoretical $1.5 million, if it comes through, is strictly a Band-Aid. Where would that $1.5 million be earmarked for? Staffing?
It is.
Okay.
It is to continue the work. So there's been a lot of factors. The biggest factor is the McCleary Act that will be, this is its first year of implementation. But we also have SEB, which is the state insurance. The district will be picking up some significant costs there. And then there's an aspect of regionalization that occurred a few years ago, but that is now going to be pulled back starting in the following school year, the 2021 school year. And that'll be a $500,000 reduction every year for the next 6 years. That will equate to roughly $3 million. We also we're projecting roughly a little less than 1% student decline in population in our enrollment.
So enrollment's going to be somewhat flat, if down a little bit?
Probably a little bit down is what we're projecting. We're going to be doing some further analysis around that. We see a lot of building going on, a lot of housing developments, but not all of those developments have families in them. As the Wenatchee Valley and the community have been recognized as one of the best places to retire. It's an interesting mix of people who are coming to our community. So we just need to make sure we're really cognizant of who's moving in. Are they families? Are they more of my age and a little beyond who are moving into our community? Because all those things have big impacts on us.
And people are having less, even those of childbearing years are having less kids as well. They're not. You don't see too many 5 or 6 kid families anymore. They're 2, 3 max.
Yeah,
and that plays a role.
It does. The birth rate nationally is declining for the reasons you've said.
What's your message to parents out there? We've talked about teachers, we talked about staff. What's your message as we begin a new school year, Dr. Gordon? What's your message to the parents out there who's we're in Wenatchee, this is our roots, this is our home. I'm going to volunteer in the community. I'm going to work here. I'm going to live here. I'm going to raise my kids here. I'm going to put my kids through the Wenatchee school system, K through 12. What's your message to parents as the new guy on the block?
Yeah, we are all about students. We make student-first decisions every day. And some of those decisions fly in the face of some adult decisions. But as the superintendent here, I promise that we're going to make student-first decisions and really trying to understand who are all of our kids who walk through our doors. Some of them, again, come with some significant challenges, where others have had some really incredible backgrounds on what they've been able to accomplish in a short amount of time. But what I really want us to be focused on are our kids and ensuring that they have every door open to them. When they graduate from Wenatchee High School, they can walk through any door they want, be that a 4-year, be that a 2-year, getting right into the trades, getting right into the workforce, but that they have the skills to be able to think, the skills to be able to communicate effectively, to be creative members of our society, to be important members of our communities who will lead us into that next generation. That's what I want to guarantee every parent in the Wenatchee School District, that their kids are our priority and they're my priority. All of our kids are our kids.
Your counterpart across the river, Dr. Garn Christensen, who I'm sure you've spent some time with, he's on record just recently as trying to start a movement, trying to start some momentum at the Eastmont School District to stop this. The kids put down the smartphone, put down the tablet, quit watching TV, quit streaming stuff, and start communicating with your peers as a priority of the school district. Your thoughts on that?
I think it's some good thinking going on there. From my vantage point of technology, I want to make sure that every piece of technology, when it's in the classroom, is benefiting our students. That it's not just a pretty new thing that we're putting in front of our kids, but it is purposeful. That we're connecting it directly to the instruction that's occurring in the classroom, and that it will give our students great benefit. That it's just not a laptop for a laptop or an iPad for an iPad just because we have that ability, but that it's truly intentional for why we're using that. There are some good research on where it's beneficial and maybe where some more face-to-face conversation should occur. Agree with Garin that we need to have more of these and less of looking at the phone on a regular basis. What does that look like in our schools? Those are those conversations that I want to continue to have with our staff and our parents and our students. What does that look like?
When you got the gig, you got the call. What was your first reaction, honey? We're moving to Wenatchee. That we got the job. Was it trepidation, nervousness, excitement? This is one of the most important jobs in the Wenatchee Valley. You oversee a sizable staff, not just faculty, but all the other the people who make up the Wenatchee School District. And you're the top cheese. What was your initial thoughts when you said we're moving to Wenatchee and I'm going to be the superintendent of the Wenatchee School District?
All of the emotions.
Yeah.
Excitement first and foremost, but also a lot of nerves, some anxiety. You know, you're moving 1,700 miles back to the West. I grew up in Colorado, born and raised in Colorado, so I'm used to the West. I'm used to the dry climate and all those things. But you build relationships. I have a lot of strong relationships in the Chicagoland area. It's leaving people is always the hardest part of anything that you do. The work, working with kids is what excites me. It's what draws me to doing this, and what drew me to the Wenatchee School District was a larger K-12 environment. I was working, my first go around was in a large K-12 school district, or about 42,000 kids. Glen Ellen is about 3,500, but it was a K-8. So I was excited to get back to the K-12 environment. But it's hard leaving friends. It's hard, and my son lives in Chicago, so that was a hard thing to do. And we knew my daughter was moving to New York, and being literally on the other side of the U.S. from her was challenging. But the excitement absolutely was top of the emotional list of what we were going to do. So yeah, it was pretty easy to say yes right away. I think we said it within a few seconds after the phone call came in.
A lot of the administrators of the Wenatchee School District, and again, we're talking to Dr. Paul Gordon, the new superintendent of the Wenatchee School District. I know a lot of the administrators, a lot of the principals and assistant principals all across the school district. Almost all of them are not the sit in the office kind of type. They're out in the hallways, they're talking to the kids. Talk about the importance of the decision makers being out there and talking to the kids and talking to the teachers, and not just locked in an office and on conference calls all day, being out there and being visible.
Great question. It's a must, and I have to model that as well, because it's really easy to get locked behind your desk and fire off emails and answer calls and all of those things. But it's a must that our leaders must be in classrooms, in the hallways, outside before and after school, seeing what's occurring. So from my team, my cabinet team here, it's one of the pieces that we're already scheduling, that we're in our schools on a regular basis. But I really love seeing our principals in action in the buildings, and I've already met with all of our principals on an individual basis. We've had a administration retreat a week or two ago, and each one, it's not something I've told them they need to do. It's who they are. They are already out in their hallways, in their buildings, and seeing those classrooms. I've been able to participate in many of the open houses. And again, what I saw were principals outside the doorways welcoming hundreds of parents, students, community members into their schools, and they're high-fiving, they're talking, they're getting down on their knees, looking at kids eye to eye, welcoming them into their schools. So that's who we are, and that's who I am, and I want to continue to embrace that and amplify that work.
Last question for Dr. Paul Gordon, then we'll cut you loose. I know you're a busy guy. First day of school is Tuesday the 27th. Everybody's excited. Everybody's ready to go. The schools are clean and polished. The kids have their new clothes, and they're excited. They want to go back to school. The teachers are excited. The administrators are excited. How do you maintain that momentum from August 21st through the middle of June?
I believe in consistency. What we're doing today is exactly what we're going to be doing in June, is being present, being there to listen to people, making sure that we continue that energy all the way through, because We're all about kids, and they deserve that. They deserve that type of energy, commitment, intentionality to what we're doing. They don't get another kindergarten year. They don't get another sixth grade year. They don't get another 12th grade year. Each year is critical to their outcomes, and that's why we're here.
Dr. Paul Gordon, welcome to the Wenatchee Valley.
Thank you.
Your office is a little sparsely decorated here. I could bring in some pictures, or
yeah, this is kind of me.
Yeah?
This is kind of me.
Okay.
Because I'm not in here very
Right,
often.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah, it's just like I got a couple pictures that my daughter did when she was like 6.
Oh, okay.
Other than
you know what?
that's about it.
I'll bring in a nice big photo of me. You
right
can
here,
yeah,
right here
yeah,
on the blue
that'd be
wall.
great. That'd inspire you to greatness. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
SkillSource specializes in assessing and guiding youth, adults, and laid-off workers who want to improve their skills. Here you can attend in-depth workshops to assess skills and interests, make career plans, and learn computer basics.
Learning centers provide eligible youth and adults individualized computer-assisted basic education. Vocational training is arranged with approved providers like community colleges or on the job with businesses.
Don't wait any longer. Let's get working on the future you've been dreaming about.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Choose the pros. Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
¿Qué pasó, mi gente? Su servidor Sergio Ávila y yo, su servidor Ronnie Castro. Comenzó el verano y estamos listos para disfrutar la carnita asada aquí con la raza del Tao Nissan. Vengan a disfrutar con nosotros en nuestros bajos precios, así como en este Honda CR-V por $10,991 y este Buick LaCrosse por $7,991.
También les ofrecemos vehículos certificados como este Nissan Altima y este Nissan Rogue con garantía limitada de 7 años o 100,000 millas.
Compra con confidencia en el Tao Nissan, atrás de casco en East Wenatchee.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood.
It's great.
Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, you play basketball?
Yeah. Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking, you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging in Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
How do you know when it's time to go to Boswell's Furniture? When you know the look you love, the colors you want, but need a little design help to bring it all together. With Boswell's complimentary design service, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa guide you until your vision becomes reality. More styles, more fabrics, and more choices of quality home furnishings fill Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom so you can see it and feel it before you buy. Come into Boswell's and explore the endless possibilities of home furnishings. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Hey, this is Justin at Club Crow Bar and Grill reminding you it's your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Jam sessions and live bands playing a wide range of music. If pool tables or pull tabs are more your thing, we have you covered. Enjoy the fun and food at Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Stop on by today.
And we are back here on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, 26th day of August 2019. Yeah, August is almost done as we transition from August to September, and we transition, of course, into Labor Day weekend, which is coming up, which is a friendly programming reminder. We'll be taking next Monday off, Labor Day. There'll be no show. We'll have special programming, but Wake Up Wenatchee Valley won't be airing our news. Guys will get the day off, that kind of deal. Because things get really busy around here come September. So this is the last fairly quiet week of television around the broadcast metroplex, and then it's everybody on board as September comes on board. Let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast one more time from the National Weather Service. Looks something like this. That jet stream that was hanging over our area that was kind of out of alignment that came in on Thursday of last week and gave us the cooler than normal temperatures, a few clouds, and certainly the wind. Well, it's gone now. It's been pushed away to the north, and what's pushed it is a big ridge of high pressure, which is going to start building up. It's starting today. Actually, it started late yesterday afternoon. It will continue to build up in strength today. So summer weather will be right back where it's supposed to be for this time of the year. So we'll be in the, as you can see there, about 86, 87 with lots of sunshine for our high today. Very little breeze at all to speak of. Tonight, clear skies, 64 for the overnight low. We're going to be into the lower 90s, it looks like, on Tuesday. Wednesday is when it's going to get just plain hot. I think we can say 98 is hot. Again, very little wind at all we're going to be dealing with there. So, and then we cool down just a skosh on Thursday and Friday. No big deal. Just a little bit. But look at that. Once we get tomorrow, we're going to be in the 90s, either the lower mid, or upper 90s all the way through the rest of the week and really into the Labor Day weekend. The long-term computer models that the National Weather Service uses they're thinking that it's going to be warmer than average right through Labor Day weekend. This is a sizable dome of high pressure that's going to keep all the inclement weather away, not only from north central Washington, but most of the Pacific Northwest. So there you go. By the way, sunrise this morning was at 6:12, sunset this afternoon, or this evening, if you will, at 7:53. That gives us 13 hours and 41 minutes of daylight. We're losing about 90 seconds of daylight a day as autumn gets closer and closer. The autumnal equinox, of course, isn't until September 21st. We got some time there, but in the meantime, typical summertime weather for this time of the year. Hey, tomorrow is the first day of school for the Wenatchee School District, and we took our cameras and we visited our friends at West Side High School. We talked to the principal, Cody Callahar, and a couple of teachers, and we're going to talk to them tomorrow on this program. Back to school, kids. Summer vacation's over. Hey, everybody have a great Monday, provided this show isn't canceled. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.